Tim Petrowich at Dateline Marion here with Marion head football coach Kerry Martin. Coming into week 2, the home opener for the Wildcats against the Highland Bulldogs. But first, unfortunately, I guess we got to talk about last week and the 30-27 overtime loss to Granite City. I know, talking to you immediately after the game last Friday night, you were not particularly pleased with the way your team played. You didn't feel like maybe they were really quite ready for the season opener.
We take responsibility for that as a coaching staff. I think, ultimately the kids are prepared based on what you do. We felt like we had them ready, but we knew we were having some trouble, with practice performance. And, as I said, it's our job as a coaching staff to figure out what's going on and fix it. And we just didn't get it done. And the kids did not play their best ball game. And my responsibility starts with me and falls down to my staff. And we just got to do a better job of getting our kids ready.
You don't want to dwell on negative things, but point at some of the things that were really problems for you last week, and obviously kick coverage was one of them. We know Capri Sloan is good, but he ran the opening kickoff back 89 yards for a touchdown to start the game. Their other returner, Quentin Johnson, 81 yards to the 3 late in the game after you'd taken the lead and seemingly took control of the game. Those are things that, and the last run back, a lot of missed tackles. He bounced off of people all over the field, and before even at midfield you could have brought him down, and he wound up going all the way to the 3. So those are things you really got to work on.
Have to. It's things that we've never been a big issue as far as. And then we even subbed out the last time and tried to put almost our starting defense on the field to ensure that very thing didn't happen. It's a matter of going back and watching the film and looking at what we did wrong, and there's a lot of fundamental breakdowns, some missed tackles, and you can bet that we felt there were 4 areas that needed working on in practice, and we're working on all 4 areas every day this week, including we're considering getting rid of our pregame on Thursday and using it as a regular day of practice. We're going to get it fixed. We will get it fixed. It's just a matter of, it's a shame we have to have something this dramatic to get fixed, and we couldn't come off this thing with a win. But the only good thing I can say about the loss for us is that a loss forces us to make some serious reevaluations of what we're doing as a coaching staff and what the players are doing, and not scheme-wise. I just mean in game preparation. And so we're making those adjustments, and hopefully we can improve in those areas where we showed some fault.
We talked about the fact that viewing the film of the game could be a good learning experience for you and a good reevaluation tool, as you mentioned. What did you learn from watching the film?
Well, certainly, some things were pretty obvious. We didn't take film to know we didn't tackle well. We didn't take film to know we didn't play well on the kickoff team. But there were some blocking fundamentals we thought we didn't, were not a concern. It certainly became a concern on Friday. I think the thing that we noticed was that our kids did not transfer from practice speed to game speed very well. And I'll give Granite City some credit for that. But we didn't, this was the quickest, most athletic Granite City team we've seen, and maybe that caught our kids a little bit off guard, I think, because normally Granite City is not that quick and not that athletic, and they were this year. And Capri was one example of it as a running back. He has really gotten faster and really gotten better. And I think maybe our kids were taken a little back by how physical and how fast Granite City played. And if you're waiting until game time to throw that switch to him, it's too late. You've got to be game ready 2 or 3 days in advance of the ball game, mentally and physically. And I felt like even on Wednesday before the game that we were still struggling to throw that switch and get ourselves ready.
Well, that was one thing I wanted to ask you is how good is Granite City? We don't really know a whole lot about them because they play up in the Metro East. They play a lot of schools that Marion doesn't see. How good is this team, and how good can they be?
Well, I don't know what their record's going to be. I don't know their conference very well except by reputation. I know O'Fallon and Belleville West and East St. Louis are going to be huge stumbling blocks. Granite City is a program that's still in the rebuilding process. They are certainly a better football team than they were maybe 4 or 5 years ago when we played them. I think they're showing improvement. Whether they've taken the step to compete with those teams or not, I don't know. I'm afraid that the type of team Granite City is becoming is the kind of team some of those schools already are. Already very athletic. But at the same time, I think certainly we saw some improvements in Granite City that we had not previously seen, and that was just speed and athleticism. They've never been known for speed. Always been a very physical football team. But boy, you had some speed on that football field. From you said the two kids that returned the kickoffs and some others. They could be a tough opponent. I think they're a very hard-nosed physical team anyway.
You've talked about the possibility of doing this for a full season and into the season now. Friday night you worked the rotation with Matt and Brett at quarterback.
Yeah.
Is that the plan, or was that just the way the game went, or how did that work out?
Well, it was the plan. The plan was to use them both. Start Brett and let Matt get some series in there, and I've been through this before, and I've counseled with a lot of other so-called experts in the field, and regarding when you have two really good quarterbacks, what's the best way to approach it? And to a person, each one of them said, you got to make sure you get that second, whoever your number two is, get him on the field some and get him some experience, especially if he's the younger player. And I think our kids have a lot of confidence in either individual. I think our kids feel confident in Brett and Matt. So right now, that doesn't seem to be an issue for us. I thought both had their moments, both threw some great balls. But we're going to take this week by week. I can't guarantee you that one of them will emerge as a full-time starter, and I can't guarantee you we're going to do this trading series off. I don't know. It's a week-by-week process, and we evaluate it every single day. Every day we evaluate who's improving, who's not, who looks better. We watch the film very carefully. So it's one of those things. I get the feeling that sometime down the road we're going to get a starter emerge and someone that's going to be the permanent quarterback.
Highland coming up Friday night in your place. This is a little bit different of a Highland team than you saw last year. They lost quite a bit to graduation. They have a new head coach this year. They really took it on the chin Friday night against DuQuoin at home. Lost 41-0. This is a team, though, that year in and year out, your team, especially early in the game, seems to struggle with for some reason. Last year, no exception. You're down 14-13 at halftime, came back and won the game 27-14. How do you approach this game now? Knowing what happened to you last week, knowing what happened to them last week, I would think it's probably very important for you to jump out on them early and get them down again.
We need to, and the thing is, this football team, we've got to have a sense of urgency now. And I don't think anyone realizes how important that first ball game is. I don't think there's, of all the games on your schedule, week one stands out as one of the most important games to get out of the gate early and get that first win, and it feels like you play a bit of catch-up the rest of the season if you don't. And we put ourselves in that situation, so we're going to have to come out hungry on Friday and take out some of that frustration on whoever the next opponent is. In this case, it's Highland. If we don't come out and establish ourselves early and play fast and play hard, that's not going to be a good sign. We need to come out and play well early, I think. And I think the kids are motivated to do so. I think that we got a serious wake-up call in our program, coaches and players alike, and we stress a lot of things in our program. One thing we stress, we never look past anybody. Every game, the only game that matters is the game you're getting ready to play right now. So our focus is going to be playing on our best game we can and getting back on track on Friday night against Highland. But you're right, we need to get out early.
Yeah, because if you let them hang around, not only do they gain confidence, but your kids start thinking in the back of their mind, oh no, here comes Granite City.
Well, right, that's right. And I think it's a matter of, our kids know how to win. And maybe in some small way, they maybe wanted to cruise a little bit and not take Granite City as serious. I never heard that, never saw an indication of it, except maybe a lack of urgency in practice from them, which is something we stress with them over and over. And we as a coaching staff have been trying to find a way to get them to step up and practice and play with a greater sense of urgency. And again, I take responsibility for that. I've got to find a way to get my kids to play at that level and to practice at that level. And I felt like this week we've seen a greater sense of urgency from our kids, much more like I think we need to see to win on Friday.
What's Highland going to do? You've seen a little bit of film. What kind of attack are they going to bring?
Well, you're right about what you said earlier. New coach and new schemes. And he's going to bring in a very young football team with an outstanding sophomore class of players. They're very big, very physical football team. And you'll see that they're very big up front. And we're going to have to use our speed and get the ball outside and get the ball down the field on them and spread the field and play fast break football. It's the only way I know we can handle these guys.
How are the kids approaching having the opportunity to play at home? I know we talk about the environment here and things like that. I'm sure they don't want to have that same result at home Friday night they did on the road.
And I think there's knowing we've got our first 5 games, 4 on the road, and I think that makes this game pretty special to us. We know this is the last time we're going to play here nearly the entire month of September, and so we're not going to play here again for quite a while, and so we want to make the most of this opportunity and give a lot of our fans the only view they're going to get of us until week 6, week 5. So week 6 it would be. So we're going to have to really, relish this opportunity, get back in the win column, even that record up. Thank goodness the Harrisburg trip's a shorter trip for us, and then it's off to Cahokia and it's off to Mount Vernon, and they just don't get any easier.
Your schedule with Granite City improving, the unknown with Highland and Harrisburg beat Mount Carmel last week. That early schedule now before the conference schedule is getting as tough as the conference schedule is.
Yeah, it really is. And the other thing that we notice about the schedule is at one time there might have been a break early or maybe later, or one time there was a break late here and there with teams rebuilding and new coaches. If you look at our schedule now, with the improvement of Granite City, as you said, and certainly the unknown of Highland, Harrisburg under Coach Roper doing very well, beating Mount Carmel, and the end of our schedule. Centralia, Carbondale, and Heron have maybe their best teams they've had collectively in a very long time. In the middle are the big dogs, traditionally of the conference the last 10 years. Cahokia, Althoff, and Mount Vernon. Where's the soft part of the schedule? And that's okay, because if you're going to play in a tough schedule and a tough conference, you got to play at that level. And when we make it through this, when we become a playoff team, and we challenge for or win a conference title, we'll be ready for the playoffs.
And that makes playing at the high level every week that much more important.
We're not going to win a state championship, which is our ultimate goal, unless we're playing good competition. I think right now our conference is giving us the best chance to do that because of the types of teams and types of programs we're facing.
Anything special playing for Friday for the season opener, the home opener?
We're just excited to be at home. We're excited about the challenge. We're looking forward to having a great crowd, and it'll be a beautiful night.
All right. Kerry Martin, head coach of the Marion Wildcats for Dateline Marion. I'm Tim Petrowich.